What the Heck Do I Know presents PM Update with Leah and Mia. And now your host, Leah. Hello, and welcome to What the Heck Do I Know's PM Update. I'm Leah. Our top stories tonight in our Home Insight segment: does the idea of buying a home scare you? Well, there are ways to make it a lot less frightening. Also, did you know that you're probably already a project manager? Find out more on PM Update in the Home Insight segment when we come back, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Our first story tonight is about the fear of buying a new home. It is considered one of the top most stressful events in life for first-time homebuyers, and it can be even more stressful because of the uncertainty around the process. Mia is here with a story of one couple's journey and how they made it easier for themselves. Mia, what can you tell us about this? Well, Leah, I've spent the last several months talking with Jim and Sally Gardner about their first-time homebuyer experience and the unique approach they took to take at least some of the fear and stress out of the transaction. 2 years ago, Jim and Sally Gardner came into an inheritance of $20,000 and decided they wanted to get out of renting and buy a home of their own. Since both are project managers, they also decided to handle the transaction as a project and trust to the processes they use every day at the office to take some of the stress out of making such a huge investment. In the initiation and planning phase, the Gardners created a project charter listing out the purpose, objectives, high-level requirements, and schedule milestones. They listed out the risks they were able to identify and the various stakeholder groups they would be working with throughout the process. They shared the responsibility of doing research on every part they could think of and consulted experts. Provided with a list of typical first-time homebuyer mistakes and regrets, they decided to address them together one by one. Jim and Sally first checked their credit score, which seemed good enough. They learned about debt-to-income ratios, loan-to-value ratios, and the advantage of not paying for mortgage insurance. Based on this, they decided when it was time to buy, they would need a down payment of at least 20% and wanted to finance for only 15 years. After they checked online listings and made calls to agents, they determined that they would be willing to pay about $175,000 for a 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot home in Mesquite, Texas, which was close enough for both of them to commute to their offices in Dallas. Since a 20% down payment meant they needed an additional $15,000, Jim and Sally needed to add to their savings plan. They both agreed to saving 10% of their net income, or $5,000 a year each. They also decided to pack lunches to save an additional $200 per month and reduce their once-a-week date nights to twice a month to save $150 per month. These combined actions would actually get them over the $15,000 goal so they could cover additional costs and fees. Jim and Sally created a SMART goal based on the research they completed and included it in their project charter. Their SMART goal was, we will buy a 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot home in Mesquite, Texas for no more than $175,000 by saving at least $30,000 for the down payment, fees, and closing costs within the next 2 years. Since they had 2 years of waiting for savings to grow, the Gardners continued to educate themselves on the process. They checked into first-time homebuyer programs available in their area and all of the different available types of loans to decide which one was best for them. They got recommendations from friends and real estate agents, home inspectors, insurance, and warranty companies, and when the time came to buy, they were ready. The main execution phase started 2 months before the 2-year deadline. The Gardners started looking at homes by enlisting the services of a highly recommended buyer's agent to help find the best property for them. They spoke to multiple lenders to get the best rate quote and got pre-qualified. They also avoided taking on any new credit in the last 2 months. With the help of their agent, they were able to locate and view several possibilities in the first week. They made a point of visiting the neighborhoods in the evenings and weekends to get a feel for the personality of the place and made an offer in the third week. They used the recommendations of home inspectors from friends, but still requested multiple quotes on insurance and warranty companies before making a final decision on which ones to work with. Partly due to their 20% down payment, the mortgage and escrow portion of the process went fairly smoothly, but Jim and Sally checked in on the process regularly with the bank in order to monitor and control. They were able to close within 45 days of their offer being accepted. Since their home buying savings plan went so well, they decided to keep doing it for at least the next year so they would have funds to use for maintenance or unexpected costs as they got used to being homeowners. Both Jim and Sally say that taking their time, learning as much as possible, and using their research to plan everything out made the process much easier and less emotional for them. Thank you, Mia, for that inspiring story. Up next, did you know that you're already a project manager? More on that when we return on the second half of Home Insights PM Update. Project management skills can be used in more places than just the office. In our earlier story, we saw how one couple used project management processes of initiating, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing to take the fear out of the largest financial transaction of their lives. But how often do we make big changes like that? You can and do probably use project management skills in your everyday life, which means you are already a project manager. Mia is here with the story of how. Sam just received a call from his wife, Jill, who is coming home late with 2 clients for dinner. They discuss what to serve and what time his wife will arrive with the guests. For initiation and planning, Sam suggests making his specialty of Cornish game hens with a wild rice pilaf, gravy, and carrots. Jill thinks this is a perfect menu, but knows that one of her clients has a gluten allergy, so agrees, but asks him to pick up gluten-free flour for the gravy. Also, due to the gluten allergy, they will serve a sorbet for dessert rather than a pastry. Jill also says they should be arriving around 7:30 p.m. for drinks, and dinner should be ready to serve around 8 p.m. They also agree to set the budget at $50. They will need most of the ingredients for the meal, but have several bottles of wine and spices at home already, so will not need to purchase those items. Sam begins the execution phase by going to the store to purchase the ingredients he needs. He does not need to make a plan for this, as he has prepared this meal many times previously and knows what he needs. He finds 4 game hens for $18, baby carrots for $1, raw almonds for $7, wild rice for $3.50, chicken stock for $2.50, gluten-free flour for $3, brown sugar for $1.50, butter for $3, garlic for $1.50, lemon for 50 cents, olive oil for $4.50, and a pint of sorbet for $3.50, for a grand total of $49.50. Sam updates Jill after arriving home and beginning the meal preparation that he has found all of the ingredients needed, and he will be able to get the birds in the oven at 6 p.m. and prep all of the side dishes while they are roasting, so he is on schedule and just under budget. Jill and the guests arrive on time, and they enjoy each other's company before dinner is served promptly at 8. After their guests leave, Sam and Jill congratulate themselves on another successful project completed on time, under budget, and with happy clients. Thank you for that story, Mia. Another great example of using project management processes in everyday life. We really are all project managers. Now that's all for PM Update with Leah and Mia in our Home Insight segment for this week. Thank you for watching, and see you next time on What the Heck Do I Know and our next episode of PM Update. Good night.